Coming up on this edition of the Center of It All, we tour the Class of 2015 art show at the Bellefonte Art Museum. We talk TED Talks at Penn State. And for the first time on the Center of It All, we have a local band performing in studio. That's what's happening on this special edition of the Center of It All. Hey guys, welcome to the Center of It All. Miss Melanie and the Valley Rats will be performing in just a bit. But first, the 5 local high schools will be presenting their senior art show at the Bellefonte Art Museum through the month of March. And we stop by the opening reception. Over the past several years, the Center County Senior Class Art Show has been sponsored by the Bellefonte Historical and Cultural Association. And last year was held at the Gamble Mill. Unfortunately, due to Gamble Mill's recent closing, the area's senior classes were out of a space to exhibit their works of art. After discussions with representatives from all 5 schools and the BHCA, the Bellefonte Art Museum gladly offered to host the show.
When the museum found out that the Gamble Mill was closing and that the show was in jeopardy of not being displayed, we wanted to host it here so that these seniors that have worked very hard to get their pieces ready, they've been preparing their work, getting them wired, ready to hang, doing all that work in preparation to host it. And so they were disappointed when they found out they weren't going to have it at the Gamble Mill. So we wanted to make sure that their hard work didn't go unnoticed and that we were able to exhibit the work here and give them a place to showcase their art.
Whenever they first told us that it was canceled, I kind of thought that we'd just get our art back and wouldn't go to anything, but once it was moved here, I was all right with that.
Showing now through March 29th, the exhibit will showcase many different forms of art from local seniors.
There is a wide range of art. We have colored pencil, we have graphite drawings, there's some ceramics, some 3-dimensional pieces, watercolors, a whole host of different mediums that are represented here.
Senior art students from the 5 Center County school districts will be displaying their art, and some pieces will even be up for sale.
They were given the option that they could sell their work as well. That was one of the things we wanted to do to kind of give them the experience and the knowledge that they could take with them after high school if they wanted to pursue a career in art.
There will be a reception held the evening of March 10th, and the museum expects a large community turnout.
I think the community is very supportive of the show. When we sent word out that we were going to host it here, because it had been canceled at the Gamble Mill, we received a lot of feedback from our members and from the public that they were pleased that we were able to step in and help out and hold it here. So I expect there to be a lot of people come out to see the show.
This exhibit is not the museum's first time showcasing local art. Their artist registry is full of local talent.
We support local artists here in the region. We have about 125 artists on our artist registry, and they're able to exhibit their work here, and a lot of times their work is for sale as well. So it gives them the opportunity to not only showcase their art, but they have the opportunity to sell their work as well.
This collaboration came about through necessity, but the Bellefonte Art Museum would be delighted to host this event again.
I think we will. It all depends on what happens at the Gamble Mill. If the Gamble Mill reopens, then the BHCA will host the show there next year. But if for some reason, that doesn't happen and, this time of year rolls around again and they're without a venue, then I'm sure we'll be able to, hopefully step in and help out again.
The exhibit will be running through March 29th. Now when we come back, we review Penn State's latest TED event and have the very talented Miss Melanie and the Valley Rats performing in studio. Welcome back to the Center of It All. TEDx PSU is an independently organized TED event that has been happening on the Penn State campus since 2010. This year's talk was titled Push to Start and featured 15 well-known speakers. Ideas worth spreading. That's the mission of the nonprofit organization known as TED, which stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. TED Talks are short, powerful presentations covering a wide variety of topics, from science to business and global issues. Going along with the mission to spread powerful ideas, the TEDx program helps communities, organizations, and individuals produce TED-style events. These events are planned and coordinated independently, and our very own local TEDx PSU event has been held on campus since 2010. The 5th annual conference was titled Push to Start.
Our theme is Push to Start. What does that mean to you? Perhaps you think about the easy button. So much of our lives have become automated. Information is so easily accessible. More knowledge than you ever could have imagined before is there at a click.
The processor here, you won't believe it, it's 1 million times faster than the processor, than the computer, which was on board the Apollo mission to the moon. That's how amazing these technologies have become.
And some of our speakers today will be talking about harnessing technology and design and innovation to make the lives of others easier.
This year's event featured well-known speakers like ESPN's Jameel Hill.
It's so much easier, and we do it a lot, for us to imagine failure. That's easy. We think about failure all the time. Most of us are really consumed with it. But the success part, we don't imagine and envision that as much.
International public speaker Scott Freed.
Lost as a child's first thought. I must have arms to hold me.
And even Penn State's head football coach, James Franklin. Coach Franklin discussed core values and how attitude, work ethic, and sacrifice can lead to the American dream. TEDx PSU allows the opportunity for Penn Staters to share ideas through the powerful outlet of TED.
If you've never watched a TED Talk before, I highly recommend it. Now hold on tight, because when we come back on the center of it all, we have Miss Melanie and the Valley Rats performing in the WHVL studio.
Like the taste of your Kool-Aid, it's not something I wanna drink. If you don't wanna hear what I'm saying, then please don't ask what I think. They say it's a long road to heaven and a very short path to hell. I don't like the goods that you carry. I can't buy what you're trying to sell. So please, please, please realize there's nothing left to tell. Nothing left to tell. Fire burned hot between us. Now our fire's turned ice cold. Sometimes you gotta smell the coffee, at least that's what I'm told. Some loves don't last forever, some almost fall but they never fail. This thing's been dying slowly, and I really can't stand that smell. So please, please, please realize there's nothing left to tell. Nothing left to tell. the show. Mankind this, mankind that. Oh, somebody help me, please tell me why is it? Meditate to conquer hate, just like to show respect, fortify your soul, and the beauty will protect. Open up your heart, however you see best. Elevate society, let freedom manifest. Humanity there, humanity there. Oh, somebody help me, please tell me why is it? Wow! Living in the present while learning from the past. Love and compassion should be the legacy that lasts. Don't be afraid of change, it occurs naturally. For things to get better, that's the way it should be. People say this, people say that. Baby, I already know exactly what you say. Like a little bit of sunshine through a whole lot of rain, like a little bit of calm through a hurricane, like a little bit of good luck. All you've been is down, like a little bit of word in a dried up town. You're all I got. All I need. But the day I pulled the rug out, put her hurting on me. There was a time I believe what you said. There was a time that we were all our way, but time moves forward. Was a bit to last, yet I keep praying for a future that was just like the past. You're all I got. Oh, I need. But But the day you moved the reggae put a hurting on me. Everybody telling me to let life move on, but life's been stuck here since you've been gone. So I hold on my knees, I pray. Hey, you might come back. Baby, you say you're all I got, all I need. But the day I move the reggae put a hurting on me. You're all I got, all I need. But the day I move the reggae put a hurting on me. Hand on me. Oh, ooh, 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 oh,
We're Miss Melanie and the Valley Rats, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the center of it all. We're back here with Miss Melanie and the Valley Rats. That show is great, you guys. And how long have you been playing together?
I think it's been about 4 years now.
4 years sounds right.
4 years, yeah.
And how did you guys get started playing together?
I was introduced to her through a mutual singing friend, and we met, but I was so busy with my kids. I had just gotten off the road with Queen Bee and stuff, and I couldn't do another band. And then I was actually doing a children's gig 5-6 years later, and Mel brought her kids, and we started talking, and it just sort of evolved into this.
Well, I'm very glad that happened because this is a great band.
Thank you.
And you guys tour all over Pennsylvania. What do you like about playing live music?
That's a tough one.
What's not to like?
Right?
It's great. My thing, I used to be a piano player and a guitar player, and I used to want to be a film score composer for movies. And then I joined bands and finally found out how much fun that was. So I've never really looked back. I've been playing with whoever I can play with all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole different vibe than when you're in the studio. When you're live, you get the energy from the crowd. You're feeling each other's energy, and so each time is different. It's a beautiful thing.
Never know what you're going to get.
Great. And you guys have 2 studio albums. What is your songwriting process like?
I would say however it happens. Sometimes you get a lyric, sometimes you get a melody or a lick. Sometimes you get a whole song in 3 minutes, and I like those the best personally. And, it's just we get together and try and put it all together and make it work.
Sounds good, sounds good. And you've shared the stage with some pretty big artists, B.B. King being one of them. What was that like?
Well, that was, just kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime, can't-believe-it type deal. And I had my 2 sons in the audience and my baby backstage waiting for me, and he fell asleep side stage to B.B. King. So just to kind of be in that presence was an amazing experience.
Amen.
All right. And I hear you guys had some pretty big news today.
We did. We're going to open up for Jay Leno on March 11th at the Johnstown War Memorial, and I'm going to steal one of his cars. No, I'll stick to the guitar and let him take care of comedy, actually.
All right. That sounds like the best idea for you.
Action.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming in. That was really an amazing show. You guys are the real deal.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for this edition of The Center of It All. For more great WHVL content, log on to our YouTube page and like us on Facebook. And while you're there, you should definitely like these guys, too. Thanks for joining, and have a great week.